Hi, I'm Helen and welcome to my channel. Today's practice will be a class for when you have a broken heart or are grieving. You may need a couple of blocks or some cushions for the first posture. We'll start lying on the back. Come down into Supta Baddha Konasana, which is reclined bound angle pose. This is where your blocks may come in handy. Lie down on the back, bring the inner edges of the feet together, knees pointing towards the ceiling, and then just allow the legs to flop open, the knees descend towards the floor. I like to put a couple of blocks here either side of my thighs, just so there's no strain on the inner groin. Take the arms and place them overhead. Bring the thumbs together and the forefinger together to create a diamond shape between the finger and thumb. You should also have a diamond shape created by the arms and a diamond shape created by the legs. Just center here in on the breath and just melt into the floor. So allow the muscles of the pelvis and the hips to gently open, shoulders to just release towards the floor in this posture, which is very opening and inviting. So the diamond has several qualities. One of them is clarity and another is resilience. And as you move through the class, try to focus in on these two qualities. When you're going through a tough time and you're grieving, it's easy to lose clarity of the situation. You also can find yourself feeling weak and just losing the will to fight and heal. Remember, we're resilient creatures and things will always get better. So try to tune into these two qualities, resilience and clarity. Start to lengthen the inhale, lengthen the exhale. Focus in on the sensations in the body, and bringing your attention and awareness to these. If you find your mind drifting away to your exterior situation, just bring it back to your internal landscape and how you feel in the body itself. Feel the support of the earth underneath you. Remember, no matter what we go through in life, the earth is always there for us. Be here for a couple more breaths, just allowing the body to open and soften. Take a last few breaths here. Then bring the arms down, place them on the outside of the thighs and just use the strength of the hands to push the knees together. If you use blocks or cushions, just move them over to one side. And then Bring the knees in one at a time into the chest. Just give yourself a little hug and squeeze. Keeping the clasp around the right shin, just release this left leg out to the mat. Just allow it to flop down. And then pull this left knee into the right knee into the chest, and then out slightly towards the right armpit. So a deep compression in the hip here. Try to keep both shoulders on the floor. Make sure they haven't reached up towards your ears. Using the strength of the arms to compress the hip. Then left hand comes outside right knee and roll over onto the left side for a supine twist. So try to keep the right shoulder on the floor. Feel this stretch all in the right outer hip. If it feels good, you can turn your head to face the right hand. You can cactus this right arm or have it out straight, whatever feels good for you. I like to put it in cactus because it just gets a little bit more opening in the chest and shoulder. Then inhale back to center. One more squeeze into the chest with this right knee, and then release down to the floor. We'll move on to the second side. So left knee comes into the chest, deep squeeze. Just allow this right leg to lay loose on the floor. And pull this left knee towards the left armpit. A little bit of opening in the hip here, but deep compression of the joint. Focusing the attention on the hip area and any sensations you might be feeling. Then right hand comes outside left knee and just pull the left knee over towards the right. Left shoulder remains on the floor. Left arm cactus or out straight. And then maybe turn the head to face the left side if it feels good on the neck. Just waking up the spine here with this twist. Getting into the side body, into the left outer hip. Opening all the intercostal muscles that line the ribs. Allowing us to expand as we inhale the breath. Then inhale, come back to center. One last little squeeze into the chest with this left knee. Then bring the right knee up to meet it. Cross the ankles and roll up to a seated position. So we'll come into Sukhasana, easy pose, which is simple cross-legged. Fold the legs in and just externally rotate the thighs, just allows you to get a little bit deeper into the seat. And we'll work on just waking up the hip area. So bringing the hands in front, just moving the waist from side to side, getting into this region. So the second chakra, the sacral chakra, is based in this area. And this is where we hold our identity with our family and our friends and our relationships. So when we've been through a heartbreak or experiencing grief, we can often feel a lot of tension in the hips. We just want to bring back some energy into this area. Now, whatever leg you've got in front, turn the body to face the opposite way and just walk the hands out. Feeling this stretch in this outer hip. Breathing into the sensations. Then inhale, come back up to center. And just walk the hands forward. Maybe the elbows come to the floor, maybe not. Just noticing the difference in each side of the hip. Being gentle on your body. If it's telling you something, listen. Then inhale, come back up. We'll bring the hands to the knees and we'll stir the pot. So inhale, the body comes forward, and then you're going to rotate around to the back, making the movement come from the pelvis. Bring the chest forward. Five in one direction. And then 5 in the other. The sacral chakra is where we hold all our pleasure and our joy. And when you're feeling broken, it's easy to believe that you'll never feel joy again. But everything always gets better in time. And now change the cross of the legs. We'll just do that little sequence with the other leg in front. So a different side is often a different story. Just acknowledge the imbalance in the body, which is totally normal. And be mindful if this is a tighter side. And then whatever leg you have in front, turn the body to face the opposite way and walk the hands out. I can really feel this in my outer hip. This side's a lot tighter for me. Then inhale back up and walk out towards the center. Lengthening out of the waist, feeling the bend coming from the hips. And just use the breath to help open the body. Acknowledging the sensations you feel. And come back up. We'll stir the pot on this side. So inhaling, the chest comes forward. We'll start to do these 5 rotations in one direction. Moving from the pelvis. Getting deep into the hips. And go the other way when you've done 5. Then just come back to center. And we'll work on releasing some tension in the neck. We hold so much tension in our shoulders and neck, and in our jaw as well. We can hold a lot of emotions in the jaw. So keeping the spine straight. If you are finding this difficult, now we've stopped doing the movements, you can sit up on a block or a bolster. So tip the left ear over to the left side. Take the left hand and just put it on the side of the right ear and pull the head gently over. You can extend these right fingertips out onto the floor, tent the fingers. You should feel deep stretch in the right side of the neck. Breathe here. You can close the eyes if it serves you to do so. Then bring the head back up and release the hand, and we'll go over to the other side. So tent the opposite fingers and just pull gently on the side of the head, keeping both shoulders away from the ears, feeling a stretch all in this left side of the neck. And inhale back to center. And then we'll turn the head towards the left. Take the left hand, place it on the back of the head, tent the other fingers, and then just pull the head down with the chin coming towards the armpit. So you should feel a stretch in just a different part of the neck. Breathe here. And then come back up and release. Go over to the other side. So turn the head to face to the right. The right hand comes on the back of the head, tent the opposite fingers, and then pull this head down towards the armpit. Chin towards the armpit. Always remembering to breathe through any sensation. And then inhale, come back up, come back to center. If this is okay on your neck, we'll do a couple of neck rolls. So bringing the chin down, roll the ear to the left, all the way back, opening the throat, over to the right, and back to the center, and then move the opposite way. Right ear to right shoulder, coming behind if it feels okay. Left ear to left shoulder, and back down to the center. And then lift the head. And interlace the fingers behind the head. And then just allow the weight of the hands and the arms to pull the head forward, slightly curling the upper spine. Feeling a stretch all down the back of the neck. Breathe here. And then inhale, come up, and then keeping the hands where they are, we'll open the chest to the sky, elbows come wide. Deep opening in the front body here. Then exhale, release. So this time we'll move the ear towards, so the left ear towards the left shoulder, and then turn the chin up to the sky. Maybe use the hand to help. So you should feel a stretch in a different part of the neck here. Breathe in here. These movements open the throat chakra, the Vishuddha. And this chakra is the chakra of communication. Inhale, release. Go to the other side. So ear comes to the shoulder. Turn the chin up and maybe just use the hand to help. So this chakra is responsible for communicating the messages from all the other ones. So it's how we express ourselves. It's really important to express our emotions and not let them get caught up in the body. Then inhale, release. Just do 2 more neck rolls in each direction. And then come back to center. And we'll come into tabletop. move into Anahata Asana, which is heart melting pose. So the knees are directly underneath the hips. And then start to walk the hands forward, descending the chest towards the floor. So your chest may or may not reach. You can bring the third eye down and descend to whatever range of motion you have. If you're very open, you may bring the chin to the floor. If not, you can just bring the forehead, but we're melting the heart down into the earth. Get an opening in the shoulders, ground the palms, lift the forearms, and breathe here. As you start to melt, you may find you can go a little bit deeper. And then inhale, slowly come up. We'll move through a few rolling cobras to open this heart region a little bit more. So take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, round into cat pose, and then allow the pelvis to drop, bend into the elbows, come to the floor. Inhale up into cobra, keeping the chest lifted. The belly drops back into cow, and then the seat comes to the heel. So you'll get this once we start moving. Inhale up into cat, release down into the floor. Inhale into cobra, seat to the sky, belly drops, seat to heels. So come up into a cat. We lower to the floor, up into a cobra, into cow, seat to heel. So just start to move with your own breath. Make it flowing and graceful. You come up into cobra. Try to imagine that you're wiping your slate clean. Every time you come up, you wipe the slate clean. Make this almost a move in meditation. As you articulate the spine, observing how it makes the body feel. Wiping the slate clean as you come up. And then we'll do one more wherever you are. Make this your last one. And sit back into child's pose and just bring the forehead to the floor, the third eye. Allow the palms to face towards the sky. Just have the arms loose at the front of the body. Surrender here. And then come back up to hands and knees. Move the hands about a handprint in front. Tuck the toes, and we'll lift the sit bones to the sky for downward facing dog. So the knees can be bent, grounding down into the base of the knuckles. Hands are shoulder width apart, finger pads gripping the floor. Upper back is wide. Knees can be bent and the heels can be lifted. And then maybe start to descend the heels, straightening the legs. Inhale, right leg to the sky, and exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands. Get it there any way you can. Bring this back knee down. Untuck the toes. Right knee's directly above right ankle, and then lift the body up. Interlace the hands above the thigh and start to descend these hips. So really open in the front of the hip here on the left side, getting into the psoas. I'm on a bit of a creaky floorboard here. Remembering to breathe, engage this front body, feeling the sensations. And then the left hand comes down. Descend the hips and inhale the right arm up to the sky. So we're opening the chest towards the sky, shoulders are stacked. Both of them are away from the ears. And then if it's available to you, you may be able to bend this back leg and reach back and grab the foot. If you can't reach, just imagine that you've got hold of it. Or you can always use a belt. Descend into the hips and open the chest even more to the sky. And exhale, release. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Side B, inhale left leg to the sky, exhale, step forward, descend this back knee, get your position, left foot grounded into the floor, knee stacked above the ankle. This back foot can be flat, and inhale, body comes up, front body's engaged, and interlace the fingers just above the knee, descending the hips. Just allowing this release in this left hip flexor. Remember, the hip is a 360-degree joint, so we need to open it in all of its planes of motion. Get that energy moving, and any stagnation that we may have accumulated as we go through maybe a tough period in our lives. This is a little bit of a balance pose, and you can always scissor the thighs. So imagine the left hip coming back and the right hip coming forward. That gives you just a little bit more stability. Right hand comes down. And inhale, left arm to the sky into this twist. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, try and stack them as best you can. You can stay here, or if it's available to you, lift this back foot up, maybe reach back and grab and descend. So this just opens the chest a little bit more. The chest is obviously where the heart chakra is, anahata, and this represents your universal love. It's important that when we go through heartbreak, we don't shut down all our emotions and shut down our willingness and openness to love. We need to keep this area open. And exhale, slowly release. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky, and exhale, right foot steps up. This time plant the back foot so the arch is in line with the heel. We'll cartwheel the arms up and come into warrior two. So in warrior two, the front thigh is parallel to the floor as best you can. We're grounding into the knife edge of the back foot. Shoulders are above the hips, arms are out to a T and on a shelf, and the gazing point is the middle finger of the front hand. So this posture really represents strength. Our strength and our resilience. Breathe here. Keep the inner thigh of the back leg engaged. And from here we'll move into a hybrid pose. So with warrior two legs, the hands come down into a downward dog sort of position. So planting the hands and just melt down here. So you're sort of downward dog in the body, top in the upper body, and warrior two in the legs. Just gets a little bit deeper into the hips. And melt the heart towards the floor. Don't forget about the back leg, make sure you keep it active. And then move the hands just either side of the front foot. Rotate on the back toe, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Left foot steps up between the hands. Plant the back foot, heel to arch alignment. Inhale, cartwheel the arms up. Warrior two on the second side. So really ground down into this back foot. Keep the back leg active. Shoulders are stacked above the hips. This left glute is tucked under. Arms are out to a T. Gazing point is the middle finger of the front hand. Warrior two. You are strong and you are resilient. And then bring the hands down. We'll come into this hybrid pose again. Warrior two legs and downward dog arms. Make sure you're keeping this left glute tucked under. Back leg is active. And melt towards the floor. And then on an inhale, walk the hands back either side of the front foot and step back, downward facing dog. Take a free breath here. And then start to walk the hands back to the feet and come into a standing forward fold. So you can keep the knees bent if this feels better for you. Otherwise you can straighten the legs, keep the weight in the ball of the feet. Hands can come to the floor, or you can come into ragdoll, holding each elbow, and just swaying gently from side to side. So forward bends, really calming. They also symbolize letting go. So if there's something you need to let go of, you can use your yoga practice as a method to carry this out. Let go of what doesn't serve you, whether it's a situation, an emotion, a thought, a feeling. And then bring the hands to the waist, and in inhale, stand all the way up. So we're moving to a sequence of forward bends. Wide-legged Prasarita Padottanasana. So stand, make sure the feet are facing directly forward. Come into this wide-legged stance. Hands come to the waist. Descend the tailbone and lift the chest. Shoulders are relaxed. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, tip forward from the waist and come down to the floor. So your hands may come, you may be like this, You can support the body on the legs, and you may reach the floor. Inhale, lengthen out from the waist. Remember, the tipping is coming from the waist and not the upper back. And fold down. Your hands come to the floor. Bring the fingertips in line with the heels and descend. So really keep your pelvic floor active here, your Mula Bandha, your root lock activated, because this helps protect the hamstrings. Keep the inner thighs active and the inner ankles active, grounding into the feet and letting go. Then on an inhale, bring the hands back to the waist and come all the way up. I'm really slipping on my mat here. Move back a bit. So we'll move into Prasarita Padottanasana B, or C actually. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Straighten the arms and open the chest. Descend the tailbone. Look up to the sky, and as you exhale, come forward. So this is a forward fold with a chest expansion. So in this pose, we can let go, but we're also opening the heart. Breathe here. Remember, the pelvic floor, the Mula Bandha, helps protect the hamstrings. Keep the inner thighs active. Bring the shoulder blades together. Allow the chest to open and soften down here. And then on an inhale, we'll come all the way back up. Start to just move the feet in. Bring the palms to the chest and just close the eyes. Center in on the breath. Just observe how you're feeling. I'm feeling really light and airy in my chest area. And then slowly flutter the eyes open. Make our way down to the floor. Bring the feet out quite wide, heels turned in, palms to the chest. And we'll come down into Malasana. Another great hip opening pose. Back to the arms or into the inner knees. Really press them open. Sit bones descend and the chest lifts. Just close the eyes here. And then you can just bring the seat down to the floor. So we'll release down to the floor and come into bridge pose. So bring the heels in close to the glutes. Ground the shoulders, and on an inhale, lift the pelvis to the sky, so feet are parallel. If you like, you can interlace the fingers behind the back, press into the backs of the arms and just lift the chest a bit more. This opens up the whole of the front body. Remembering to breathe. And then release the arms and release the spine one vertebra at a time back to the floor. Bring the knees into the chest. We'll roll up and we'll come briefly into downward facing dog as we transition into Ekapada Rajakapotasana, which is also known as pigeon pose. Right leg lifts to the sky, and then bring the right foot forward, right knee goes behind the right wrist, tuck the back toes and just walk the back leg back, keeping these hips parallel. Lift out of the waist and then slowly descend forward into sleeping pigeon. So you can put a cushion or a blanket under this hip just to keep them even. Release the back foot to the floor and surrender down. You can stay up on the elbows, or if it suits you, come all the way down to the forehead and surrender here. Focus on the sensations in the body. You may have heard the phrase, you are where your attention is. So wherever you place your attention, that's where you'll be. So to stay in the present and enjoy the moment, focus your intention on what you're feeling in the body today. And then slowly we'll start to come back up. Tuck the back toes. Come back, maybe just come briefly into a three-legged dog. Stretch out this leg and replace it. Second side, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, left foot comes forward. Descend the left knee behind the left wrist. Walk this right leg back. Hips are facing forward. Maybe release this foot to the floor and surrender down on this side. Remember, whatever situation you're going through in life, everything is only temporary. And things will always get better. In time, we all heal. And then very slowly, we'll come out of this pose, plant the hands, tuck the toes, maybe stretch this leg up to the sky and release back into downward facing dog and bring the knees down to the floor. So we'll move into a guided meditation. So you may like to sit up on a blanket or a block to elevate your hips. Important thing is you're in a comfortable position where you won't be distracted by any tension anywhere in the body. So come to your comfortable seat. And we're going to bring the palms together into the lap with the left hand on top, keeping the spine straight. And slowly close the eyes and center in on the breath. This mudra that your hands are in with the palms facing upwards and the left hand on top is a mudra where you can receive energy. Make your breathing slow and even with an equal inhale and an equal exhale. Now focus your attention on the crown of the head. This is where the crown chakra is. Visualize a white lotus with infinite petals at the crown. Imagine this lotus as a gateway into your very being. And imagine the petals gently opening. Now visualize a bright white light flowing into your being through the lotus. Feel this light spiraling down through your body. As it spirals down, enjoy the warm glow of the light as it saturates your entire being. Every cell of your physical body is being permeated by the light and by inspiration. All levels of your mind and consciousness are illuminated by this light. Silently say to yourself, this light nourishes my entire being. This light nourishes my entire being. Now focus your senses on the intensity of this light so that you not only see it, but you hear, smell, taste and touch it. Think of the light as a manifestation of your higher self, representing the peace that lies beyond our understanding. Feel like a pure channel for the light and allow yourself to be at one with it. In this state of oneness, intuitive thoughts and inspirations may enter your consciousness. Be thankful for this guidance. And now, be still here for a while. We'll start to bring some awareness back into the body. Bring your consciousness back into the room. Now very slowly, keeping the eyes closed, start to make your way onto the back into final relaxation, Shavasana. So if you have any props, just move them to the side and release down, allowing the legs to flop open, the hands by the sides, palms facing to the sky. Shoulders are tucked under, the eyes are closed, the breathing is free and easy, and allow your body to melt into the floor. Let go of any thoughts that you're holding. Turn the arrows of attention inward to your internal landscape. Bring your awareness to the body, to the self, and let go. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Interlace the hands above the head. Full body stretch. Bring the knees in one at a time to the chest. And then fall gently onto the right side. Stay here for a moment in a fetal position. And then when you're ready and it feels good for you, push yourself up to a comfortable seated position with the eyes closed. Spine is straight. Bring the hands towards the chest. Press in the thumbs towards the heart. Then lift the hands up to the third eye for intuition. Bring them back towards the throat for expression. And back to the chest for love. Slowly open the eyes and come back into the room. Thank you for sharing this class with me today. I hope it's brought you some healing and some clarity. And I hope to see you again soon on the mat. Thank you.